we spent part of our honeymoon here back in many years ago, and it was wonderful then, and you can only imagine the change. But we said then that if we ever retired, we would like to come back and live on Hilton Head.
And we had horses where we moved from a little farm, so we brought over our horses, our ponies and horses. So we had about 5 or 6 horses when we came over.
It was a new condo that had just been finished, and when I walked in, it was like, this is magical. I just never experienced anything like it.
I had never been to a gated community or had spent any time at a community that was on the ocean that had 4 golf courses. That seemed so serene. Everything was calm, but there were, I'm sure there were a lot of activities going on, but I never saw anybody in a hurry. It was just a relief to be here. It was wonderful.
Children went to school in a bowling alley on the beach. It was just, there were no stoplights, no hospital, just a lot of young people that were all down here, you know, for the most part families, all down here having a good time.
Coming down that avenue of oaks there at Moss Creek, and then it would open up to that panorama of marsh and sky.
You know, atop a dune, and down at South Beach where the dunes are a little bit higher, and you look across the ocean towards Savannah, has always been one of my favorites.
When I come home and I fork off of Greenwood Drive, I go on Plantation Drive, and you have a real pretty view of all the oaks on both sides of it. I don't know the history. I'd like to know the history of that drive, because I'm sure those oaks were planted there over 100 years for some reason, for some old house. But it's nice coming down there, and you can just feel yourself unwind as you go down Plantation Drive.
And I can look down the dog leg through the second green, and when the sun is setting, it's just great.
I think my favorite is South Beach at night in the summertime, on the beach, just looking at the stars.
I love the subtle nuances of the marsh grass as it changes color.
I also like the summer. The summer brings a lot of different people here. There's a lot of vacationers. And one of the reasons I do like Sea Pines is because it's a resort community, and there's a lot to do within the gates itself.
Fall, for me, is the most enjoyable time, because a little nip in the air, the insects are gone, the humidity drops, and some of the more pleasant memories were the early heritage tournaments, which were in the fall rather than when they are now in early spring.
We love the Christmas season. We love the golf tournament season. Being in the tourism business, I love the busy summer season, and so all year round is great.
The fall and winter and spring are just, you know, a nice easy pace, and it's so beautiful here. You just can't help but, you know, enjoy those seasons.
We lived on the corner of Plantation Drive, which was right on the corner of a bike path, and we had about 8 bicycles of our own. And right at the entrance of the path that changed was a sign that said bike path, but it said bikes. So I was sitting having breakfast one morning, and a man just jumped into the house and wanted to rent a bicycle. I said, but this is a private home, we don't rent bikes. Oh, yes you do, we have all these bicycles out here. He was very upset. That was a fun one.
In the community, it's small enough to be close, but it's varied enough to be very cosmopolitan. You know, people are not small-minded because they come from so many different places.
But it is a unique place, a wonderful place. Your value is there, and where else would you want to live but Sea Pines?
To me, it was a poetry of trees, and the roads melted into the trees. And then all you had to do was look like in those hidden puzzles. Then you could find, you know, everything moving, whether it was children or deer or different types of birds, beautiful egrets, heron. There was always something to see, and it was beautiful.
Never in my life did I ever think that something like Sea Pines would happen to me. I just Never thought about it that way. I never could imagine it. And here it is, and I'm grateful.